So I was on YouTube and I stumbled across a video by an atheist. Okay. And he was saying how he was gonna prove that God does not exist. And now the thing is, I watched the video and it made some interesting points, but I didn't feel like he actually proved that God didn't exist. Um he was basically asking for proof, some type of proof, physical proof, that God exists, like DNA evidence, camera film footage, or something like that. Stuff that we would consider to be evidence in this world. Thing is, essentially, God is a supernatural being. Man, He doesn't even live in this plane of existence. I don't know how you disprove a supernatural being, but anyways, the thing I find kind of fascinating is you have people who say they're atheists, but they spend a large amount of time concerned about religion or worrying about God, debating Christians. I mean, it's kind of odd to say that you don't believe in God, but then you have a YouTube channel and you're constantly talking about God. I mean, that's kind of odd to me to talk about a being that you say does not exist. I don't believe in the tooth fairy, okay? But you don't see me making video after video after video talking about the tooth fairy. The tooth fairy don't exist. I'm gonna prove the tooth fairy don't exist. Why do I need to prove that the tooth fairy doesn't exist? I know the tooth fairy doesn't exist. I don't need to prove that. And if somebody else believed that the tooth fairy existed, guess what? I wouldn't waste my energy trying to prove to you that the tooth fairy didn't exist. I'm not gonna, nah. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna waste my energy doing that. It's pointless. Okay. But I think it's kind of ironic that you actually have people who say they don't believe in God, but actually spend more time talking about God or thinking about God than actually religious people do. Okay. It's ironic because I saw this one guy, this one atheist, and he was talking about how he was going to debunk the Bible. And he actually was going to read the Bible from cover to cover. And I'm like, dude, you're actually spending more time reading the Bible than some religious people do. Because you have Christians who've never read the whole Bible. Okay, that's just fascinating to me to see somebody make video after video talking about Christianity, talking about God, going to Christian live streams, Christian videos, Christian YouTube channels to argue with Christians about God, studying the Bible. So I gotta debunk this. You're actually spending more time reading the Bible and thinking about God than actually a number of Christians do. That's ironic to me. Okay. And I saw one guy, he was saying that, hey, well, I have to, as an atheist, I have to go on social media and I have to push back against all this religion in our society. I have to push back against God. I mean, if that's what you want to do, I mean, hey, look, YouTube and all these different social media platforms, they allow you to get on there and, say a lot of stuff. You can make a video talking about all kinds of different topics. Now, some stuff they will boot you off, but for the most part, the majority of topics you can talk about. So I mean, if people want to do that, that's fine. But I still just find it funny that a person can spend so much time and energy focusing on a being that they don't like and they say that does not exist. Okay. So much time studying the Bible so you can debunk it. But to debunk it, you have to study it. I don't know. It's just funny to me. I mean, it's kind of like, it reminds me, man. There used to be this people called MGTOW. I don't think they're as big now. I mean, they're still around, but I think YouTube and a bunch of other like big sites kind of booted them off because people started complaining. But I used to watch some of their content, and they actually had some interesting content. I know a lot of people would just say they're a bunch of misogynists. No, man, there was some of those guys who were very hateful, misogynists, who hated women. But there was a decent number of them who actually made some interesting points. I stopped watching their content though because it kind of dawned on me one day. You say that you're men going your own way. Okay. So what I expected when I first started watching those videos, I thought there was going to be videos talking about, things relevant to men, more like, the laws, healthcare, you know, exercise tips, things, spirituality, whatever. Things that would make, the life of a man better. And there was some of that stuff, but a lot of those guys would just talk about women, 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 women all day. It's like, dude, if you making 20 something 30 videos a month talking about women, you ain't went your own way, man. Okay. You still obsessed and focused on women. Okay. If you, because here's the thing, even if you say that you're advocating separation from women, you're constantly talking about women. You're making 2 or 3 videos a day talking about women. They living rent free in your brain. You ain't went your own way. That's kind of how I feel like these atheists who get on social media and make multiple videos talking about God, who they don't believe, but they have to prove to you that he does not exist. Okay, God, who they don't believe in. You're talking about this being who you don't believe in. You're talking about the Bible. You're talking about Christianity, maybe some other religions as well. It seems to me you generally like the ones here in the United States just talk about Christianity. But I'm guessing some of them probably talk about other religions as well. I don't know, man. It just seems like a lot of energy to focus on something that you don't believe in. Okay. And then the obsession that you have to make me not believe in it. Okay. Honestly, I feel like this modern day society, for the most part, people don't really force religion on you. Okay. You don't have to go to church if you don't want to. Okay. You don't have to watch religious programs on YouTube. Um, I don't think most jobs have a thing where people are going, you go to work and they're forcing you to do you engage in some religious activity. For the most part, dude, I think if you're not interested in religion or you don't want to, or you're not just interested in God, period, I don't think people are running around forcing that down your throat. I mean, you might occasionally have somebody ask you to come to church or try and talk to you about your Jesus or whatever. But if honestly, I think most people, if you just say, "Hey, man, I'm not interested in that," and I don't want to talk about Jesus or whatever, I think most people will leave you alone and get the hint, man. I think it's actually very possible to live your life and not have to interact with Christians or engage in any conversation about God. Let's be honest though. Some of these guys running around saying they're atheists really aren't. They're just trying to get views for their channel. Okay. If you go make a video right now and you say, I'm debunking Jesus Christ, okay, of course, Christians are going to come there and they're going to argue with them. Okay. So some of it is about views. Some of these guys aren't atheists. They figured out how to get engagement. I mean, let's be honest, man. Um, if you had a YouTube channel and you were trying to get views and you made a video talking about I hate soybeans and you start getting a lot of views, you're gonna keep making videos about, oh, I hate soybeans. Simple as that. Okay. So I'm not talking about those people, but you really have some people who honestly seem like they're atheists who are obsessed with talking about God. And they're, oh, well, you believe in God, and so I have to push back against your beliefs. No, you don't, man. You don't have to push back against nothing I believe in. Nobody's running around ramming Jesus Christ down your throat. Okay. Yes, you'll run into a few people who will stop you in the street and say, do you believe in God? But for the most part, most people don't do that. Even the street preachers, okay. People be complaining about the street preachers. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. You can just actually walk past them. They're not gonna follow you down the street. I've seen plenty of street preachers. If I didn't want to hear what they had to say, I just kept on walking. Okay, that's it. The street preacher usually has a microphone and a little speaker, and they sit in one area for a good 15, 20 minutes. And if you don't want to hear what they have to say, you can just keep on walking. I've done it plenty of times. Sometimes I want to hear it. Sometimes I didn't want to hear it. So even the street preachers aren't that big of a deal. So I don't know, man. I feel like this whole thing about, oh well, the society is so much religion and they're ramming it down our throats. Nah, nah. You can go throughout this society and not engage in any of that, man. Like I said, some of these guys are just trying to make their channel. Some of them are not really atheists. Some of them really are. But like I said, it's odd to me to say you're an atheist and you don't believe in God, but be obsessed about the being that you say you don't believe in. Okay, and be obsessed about a religion that you think it doesn't exist. None of this stuff is real. Uh, Christianity is nonsense. It's not real. I don't believe in God, but I'm gonna sit here every day and make 100 videos about arguing about God, the existence of God. I don't know. That's kind of ironic to me that an atheist spends more time reading the Bible and focusing on God than actual Christians or religious people. Just my thoughts, man. And if you think that you're going to push back against religion and debunk it, religion has been here a long time, man. It's not going anywhere. Okay. Whether you believe God exists or not, people have a need to believe in God. Okay. So I don't have to prove to you that God exists, but I can prove to you that people have a need for God to exist. That is a need. That need is not going anywhere. You can argue about, oh, well, see, is the God of the gaps. It doesn't matter. Okay. People need to believe in God. Okay. And they want to believe in God. And they always gonna believe in God. And you're not gonna stop people from doing that. So my thing, like I said, if you're just trying to get views and clicks, fine, I get it. But if you're a person who says you don't believe in God and you hate religion, you Christianity, but you're obsessing over it every day, that don't make any sense to me. Just like these MGTOW dudes used to be online saying that they trying to get away from women, but they online making 100 videos a week talking about women, 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 women. Same thing to me, man. I mean, just my thoughts. Some of these atheists, instead of men going their own way, they I guess they humans going their own way.